Labour's so-called Red Wall, the string of devout and entrenched seats stretching from North Wales to Northumberland, proved as resilient as the polystyrene one Boris Johnson drove a JCB through in a pre-poll publicity stunt. The supposedly irremovable bricks in Workington, Bishop Auckland, Darlington, even Tony Blair's old Sedgefield constituency, tumbled. The scattergun of Labour's election policies, while generally approved of if doubted on their fiscal provenance, proved ineffectual against the stark and simple Tory message of "Get Brexit Done." Labour, it seemed, had learned nothing and forgotten everything. But it was the prevarication and the switching of positions on Brexit to try to suit all which did it. In June 2016, immediately after the vote to leave the EU, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn had pledged, "We must respect that result and Article 50 has to be invoked now so that we negotiate an exit from the EU." But then the party swithered and dithered for the best part of 3 years before coming out with a hopeless, morphed fudge that a Labour government would renegotiate with the EU and put that to the British people. In 1992, in Bill Clinton's successful US presidential campaign, the Democratic strategist James Carville coined the slogan for party workers to keep them focused on the main message, the economy, stupid. This is a lesson Labour ignored, while for the Tories their main strategist Isaac Levido came up with the winning one, "Get Brexit Done." The 36-year-old Australian was serenaded by Tory party workers as the TV exit poll predicted a landslide, singing, in a rip-off of Corbyn's chorus, "Oh Isaac Levido." If we believe the final polls, and this time, unlike in 2017, they were accurate, then 69% of Leave voters voted Conservative, a 9-point increase on the previous election, while for Labour there was no good news on either Remain or Leave voters. The former were at 48% support, down 5 points, and at just 26%, some 9 points down, among Leave voters. This was reflected in Thursday's vote. The Tory share of the vote rose by 6 points in seats where more than 60% had voted Leave, whereas Labour's fell by 11 points in the most pro-Leave seats. Labour's result, with 203 seats, is their worst in the post-war period, and somewhat redeems Michael Foot's 1983 debacle, the manifesto then called the so-called longest suicide note in history, of 209 seats. In 1983, The Economist wrote that to find a typical Labour seat one had to look at impoverished inner sites and broken down towns, but it is just those places, still largely in the same state of disrepair, which have flocked to the Tories in this one. Today that typical Labour bastion would be fervently pro-European, highly educated mainly in the prosperous south of England in a university town or city. The working class. For more on this story, visit the news article link.